Dear brothers, I am Adama. Today I will comment on chapter 8 of the book 1 of Telos. Today we will have another friend with us, Adama, but he will not speak here. I just comment that he is a great teacher for us and has been with us since a long time before the sinking of Lemuria. I will comment on the Temple of Love. This temple is where our religious union ceremonies between soulmates take place. There's not much to comment, just that in our society, mutual respect and love are the feelings that unite two people. The big focus today will be to comment on your relationships. Why is it so difficult in your world to have someone by your side, completely complete? Firstly, because you haven't learned to love each other, to respect each other. You look abroad for the things you lack, you see this compliment in others. Therein lies the big problem. The needs of each of you must be met by yourself, never by the other. The great learning is in loving yourself deeply, until no one is needed to fill what you lack. You are enough, you love yourself and make yourself happy. This is a difficult state of evolution for your surface, because you have been taught to unite with those who supply what you lack, not out of true love, not out of that love that comes when the love for yourself becomes complete. This is the right time for everyone to find their soulmate, their twin flame. I would say that in your society, especially women, were led to believe that they should always be submissive, that they had no value, that they had no right to anything, and this happened until very recently. Nowadays, women have risen up, but unfortunately the vast majority still see themselves exactly as I said. They see marriage and no matter what they go through they need to keep it going, until the last days. So I ask a question, Father or Mother God is pure love, is God the father or mother happy to see a child being unhappy? The answer is clear, but you have allowed yourselves to be dominated by your religions and you do not allow yourself this happiness. But on the other hand, what happens? You look for and find someone who fulfills your needs, each of you is looking for someone to fulfill them. But coexistence shows that this is not enough, because it does not meet all the needs, and the others begin to take on weight. Then you separate and look for someone else and this movement happens constantly. There is no connection through pure and simple love, there is a connection through lack, through the scarcity of what you do not feel in yourself. So why, instead of looking outside, don't you look within yourself? This is what happens to most of your young people. They are souls with a different consciousness, because they are evolved, but precisely because of the disconnect with the world in which they live, they try to find in others a way to satisfy their needs, and in the name of a supposed freedom they unite sexually in an unruly and unrestrained way. Love, making all those needs only increase, because that moment is so ephemeral, so empty, so devoid of beneficial energy, that nothing is given to you, on the contrary, it leaves you increasingly empty. And that young man tries more and more and more and more to fill that void, but it will never be filled, until the day comes when someone fills some of it, and there is that illusion that there is love there and they come together, and given some time ahead they realize that there is still a lot to fill. Men and women's awareness of relationships needs to evolve. Men need to learn that they are not superior. Women need to learn that they are not inferior. Father or Mother God is the balance of masculine and feminine, so men and women are the same thing. Nobody is superior to anyone else. Nobody is inferior to anyone. This imbalance is what brought your society to the level it is today, with so much imbalance, so many separations, so much violence especially against women because they are rebelling, they are putting an end to it, but men still don't accept it because they see themselves as the dominant one, as the one who cannot be contradicted, as the one who has control of everything and does not accept being challenged. There will be a time when you will reach the level we are at today, where people stay together out of love. And as you saw in the book, there is connection and commitment. The connection is two souls that come together, but without the objective of children, they come together to evolve together, to learn from each other, and if later on they think that there is no longer that flame holding them back, they separate and follow other paths. But with one big difference, there is no revolt, there is no pain, both separate and remain happy because they had that relationship teaching them a lot for a long time, but they separate without any problems and will have new connections. Until one day they find those who effectively complete them, and then they make the commitment to live for eternity. For these couples, yes, they are allowed to have children. The birth of a child is prepared and planned. It is not like in your world that there is no planning, and children are exposed to all sorts of difficulties due to the irresponsibility of those who give birth to them. I would stay here talking for hours and hours and hours, explaining, showing, trying to make each of you understand what a healthy relationship is. It's one where everyone respects the other's opinion. There are opposing ideas, but neither of them prevails, because that is how it has to be. A consensus is reached and no one feels victorious or loser. There is the growth of both, there is the constant attempt at balance and especially respect, because when respect for one for the other ends, there is no longer a relationship, there is no longer a union, and many have lived in this type of relationship for many years, becoming unhappy, and not bringing any kind of evolution to himself. Father or Mother God's goal for every being on earth is joy and happiness. And joy and happiness are possible for each of you. The day you fill every need you have, but by yourself, with internal change, with a change in thought, with actions, but all done by you and never by others, you will find balance. If you need someone else to live, you won't be happy with them, because you don't love yourself. You put yourself inferior to think you will be happy, you won't. You must not need anyone to be happy. The union must be of souls of total compatibility in everything that both have learned, but that one does not need the other. They are together because they love and respect each other, and if tomorrow one wakes up and feels that they no longer need to be there, that's okay, each one will follow their own path, without pain and without revolt. These are not easy concepts for you to accept. Many here are shaking their heads negatively, but I only have one thing to say: this is the future. And if you find it so difficult to live within this future in this way, the journey will become very difficult for you. So I just guide you, start reviewing your paradigms, start reviewing your concepts, but mainly it's not believing in what I'm saying, it's starting to love yourself deeply. And when you know that you love yourself deeply and that you don't need anyone to make you happy, then at that moment, you will be complete and people will be attracted to your life. But you can also break these connections at any time, without pain and without revolt. Are you ready to live it? Think about